The story begins with a quiet night sky, and inside the deserted hospital, a voice can be heard. Have you heard about the 5 legends of our hospital? 2 nurses were whispering. One asked, curious, 5 legends? The other whispered, the one line there is one of them. As she spoke, she glanced at the ICU room next door. Inside the room, a young man lay in a coma on the bed, surrounded by tubes. Only the readings on the machine showed that he hadn't logged out yet. The nurse explained to her colleague, the resident doctor whose soul was erased by an angel. Suddenly, strange sounds came from the ventilation shaft of the ward. A bizarre shadow floated in the air, circling around and laughing eerily. The scent of an angel is so strong. The shadow approached the person on the bed, revealing a skull face emitting green smoke. After devouring him, I can't evolve. But before it could do anything, it was stunned and looked up. The skull shadow opened its mouth quickly, wanting to attack to gain an advantage, but a voice spoke even faster. Spirit domain, absolute ice seal. As soon as the voice finished, a block of ice appeared in the air. The skull shadow was instantly frozen. A figure stepped forward and sneered, daring to eat people right in front of me. The purple-haired girl with a mask lightly tossed her hair. Did you really think I didn't exist? This person was by way. She stepped forward and touched the ice block, sighing, a humanoid wraith spirit. At least they're A rank. Immediately after, the ice block exploded into small pieces. Byway walked to the side of the bed, curiously looking at the coma big brother. Who is this guy? Suddenly, a strange streak of light appeared behind her. The streak of light transformed into an eye, accompanied by a voice in the air. Yi Wuming, 29 years old, a third-year medical student at Manhwa University, granted a special 5-year leave of absence by superiors. Byway gently touched Yi Wuming's face with her finger. She whispered to him, even though he was unaware, being cared for by superiors and targeted by an A-rank wraith spirit. What makes you so special? Yi Wuming had no idea that he had just escaped death, and he remained unconscious, unable to wake up. Elsewhere, a hand pounded hard on a door, banging loudly. A figure desperately pounded on the door, his voice growing increasingly frustrated. Is anyone there? Open the door. Let me out. After shouting for a while without any response, he sat down on the ground wearily. Yi Wuming leaned his back against the door behind him, rubbing his head and muttering in annoyance. Didn't I just fall from the rooftop? Do you have to lock me in this dilapidated place? The door that had been pounded on without any reaction suddenly swung open, causing him to fall backward. What's this? Caught off guard, Yi Wuming was knocked over by the door, his head hitting the ground. When he opened his eyes, the scene before him surprised him so much that he forgot the pain. I didn't expect. Yi Wuming turned his head and was surprised to see a gate with the words hospital written on it. This ghostly place even has a hospital? Yi Wuming sat up and suddenly realized, wait a minute, didn't I always think I was locked inside? It turns out I've been outside all along. A voice spoke. Due to being hit on the head, his IQ has temporarily dropped a bit. It's understandable. Yi Wuming immediately retorted in annoyance. Who's stupid from being hit? He suddenly realized that there was no one around and quickly looked around. Who's talking? In the darkness, a person slowly walked out. The man, dressed neatly, greeted Yi Wuming seriously. Hello, Director. It's an honor to serve you. He bowed his head, his eyes slightly narrowed. I am a steward of the Pantheon Hospital. You can call me number 1. Yi Wuming didn't understand anything. He pointed to himself in confusion. Director? A student like me as the director? Is this hospital even trustworthy? Also, we're the Pantheon and Pantheon Hospital. Number 1 put his hand behind his back and calmly reassured him. It's trustworthy. After all, in this hospital, only you can barely be considered normal. He hesitated. As for the Pantheon, you'll know once you're inside. Then he opened the door, turning to Yi Wuming to gesture for him to enter. The door was quickly flung wide open. Yi Wuming stepped inside. The area was spacious, and it indeed looked like a hospital waiting hall. Number 1 said, Welcome to Pantheon Hospital. Looking at the familiar scene before him, he couldn't stop being confused. Why does the inside look exactly like the hospital where I used to intern? Yi Wuming walked to a strange statue that was exquisitely carved. He asked curiously, Who is this? Number 1 answered honestly, the previous director. Once you officially take over the hospital, this place will be changed to your image. Yi Wuming stroked his chin, wondering, does taking over the hospital mean I can leave this place? Number 1 replied, Frankly, that's right. He happily presented a piece of paper, smiling. Just sign your name here, and you will officially take over the hospital. The paper clearly stated Pantheon Hospital Director Appointment Contract. But the words below were a bit frightening. Pantheon Hospital Director Indenture. Without hesitation, Yi Wuming resolutely took the pen and signed below the contract. Number 1 was surprised by his decisive action. He looked at Yi Wuming curiously. Aren't you going to read the contents of the contract? Yi Wuming asked coldly. If I read it and don't sign, can I leave? Number 1 answered honestly, then no. Yi Wuming smiled lightly, handing the paper back to Number 1. Then is there any difference between reading it or not? After he received the valid contract, strange lines of text suddenly appeared before Yi Wuming. Congratulations on signing the director contract. Receiving the reward. Imperial Flame Tone +1. Imperial Flame Tone detected brain damage in the director. Treatment mode activated. Yi Wuming was extremely surprised. He muttered, but before he could finish, his body suddenly became blurry. Then he turned into a wisp of smoke and disappeared right in front of Number 1. Suddenly, Yi Wuming reappeared. It turned out that he didn't reappear, but the director's statue had transformed into Yi Wuming's appearance. Number 1 looked at the halo behind the statue, sighing, so it was you. Number 1 stroked his chin, muttering, Archangel Michael. A short time passed. 3 days later, a voice rang out. Do you have anything to explain? Yi Wuming held a flashlight to his face, his voice cold. There's nothing left to say. I've said everything I need to say. A patient wearing a mask held a flashlight and laughed gleefully. If that's the case, then we. The two people were chatting lively when suddenly a hand touched their shoulders, accompanied by a terrifying voice. What are you guys doing? Causing them to jump in fright. The owner of the flashlight dropped it in a fluster, and it rolled around on the ground. A hand quickly turned on the light switch, and the room immediately lit up, revealing a table full of delicacies. A doctor leading a nurse on a night patrol immediately caught the two people eating in secret. He held his head and lamented, Great! I told you to abstain from eating, and you're still sneaking around eating at midnight, right? The masked person immediately held up a tray full of delicious-looking lobsters, trying to tempt him. Oh, doctor, don't be angry. How about this? We'll invite you to join us. Yi Wuming chimed in from the side. That's right. Good food should be shared. The doctor didn't budge. He and the two nurses quickly cleared the table of food, confiscating everything. Watching the doctors leave, taking the food with them, Yi Wuming knelt on the ground, crying, Oh no, my late-night snacks. The man next to him sighed. Oh heavens, life without late-night snacks is no longer a night life. The bald doctor turned around and glared at them. You two be good for me. Yi Wuming's group immediately shut their mouths, sadly looking at the doctor. After the doctor finished his patrol and left, Yi Wuming went to bed, frustrated. But the noise coming from the bed next door made it impossible for him to fall asleep. He impatiently pulled back the curtain separating the two beds, reminding him in a low voice, Hey. In the darkness, Yi Wuming couldn't see the person in the next bed clearly, only a figure kneeling beside the bed. Seeing that the person didn't answer, he continued to remind him, Keep it down. Don't let the doctor hear. Suddenly, the person in front of him turned his head, revealing a skeletal skull face, exactly like the monster from the other day, with a strange piece of meat still in his mouth. Looking closely, the patient in the next bed was lying on the bed, dying. The monster turned its head to look at Yi Wuming. The crew-cut young man struggled to speak, begging Yi Wuming for help. Save me. He was terrified by the scene before him. What the hell is this? Before he could react, the monster in front of him jumped. Then it quickly lunged at the stunned Wuming, opening its mouth wide and laughing. I'll eat you too. Yi Wuming snapped out of it and grabbed the object beside him, dragging it along. Then he smashed it hard on the monster's head, cursing, Eat your head. Seeing that the monster was dazed, Yi Wuming continued to pick up the thermos. But very quickly, the thermos was shattered by the monster. The boiling water inside splashed out, hitting the monster, who immediately screamed in pain. Taking advantage of it writhing on the side, Yi Wuming carried his friend on his back. Let's run. He ran forward with all his might. The person behind him lay weakly on his back, blood dripping on the path where they fled. Yi Wuming reassured the person behind him, Don't be afraid. I'll take you to find someone to save us. But before he could finish, Yi Wuming coughed up a mouthful of blood. A hand pierced through his chest. Yi Wuming exclaimed in surprise, You? The person he had been carrying suddenly turned blue, muttering, Stupid humans. Turning his head to look, His appearance was strange. His whole body was covered in an unusual black smoke, with a black lump on his shoulder. Yu lay on the ground, and in his head, an angel holding a sword said to him, "Enjoy your life." Seemingly, as the angel had said, his life began to flash before his eyes. The accident of falling from the rooftop, the nurse's whispers, how pitiful, lying down for 5 years. They saw Yu Wuming waking up and weren't happy at all. He's little Yi, right? I heard that after the examination, they found he had brain damage. Seeing him with his roommate, they began to feel sorry. What a pity. Such a bright future, completely destroyed just because of a hit. These scenes were all memories that Yu Wuming had experienced. He floated in the air, and the figure of an angel appeared from within him. The angel appeared and said to him, "Kid, accept reality. This is the gift that fate has bestowed upon you." But he was taken aback by Yu Wuming's actions, stunned. Yu Wuming angrily yelled, "I'll give you a gift." He punched the angel in the face without hesitation. The angel turned into white light, and Yu Wuming rushed over without any hesitation. "Die for me." His eyes were blazing. His kind of life, the place where he was stabbed in the chest, also healed, leaving only a hole in his clothes. Yu Wuming shouted, "I've had enough." His whole body exuded a fierce aura, as if covered by golden flames. He raised his hand, pouring all his strength into his fists. Then he rushed forward angrily. "It was you who ruined my family." The monster in front of him was punched in the face by Yu Wuming. Not satisfied, he punched him a few more times, causing me to be bettered in for 5 years. It took a few punches from Yu Wuming, but was unharmed, raising its hand to try to fight back. Without hesitation, Yu Wuming grabbed the monster's arm as it came towards him. He raised his fist behind him, his eyes blazing as he looked straight at the monster. The aura from his clenched hand suddenly gathered, turning into something. A large sword covered in golden energy appeared in Yu Wuming's hand, and he slashed down in front of him. His eyes looked ahead blankly. Behind him, the angel reappeared. Then a pillar of light shot straight into the sky, illuminating the entire area. Bai Wei, who was lingering around, suddenly felt something was wrong. She stood up in surprise, looking in that direction. This spirit domain power. It must be at least S rank. A person stepped to her side, and Bai Wei immediately looked over. The person calmly explained, "In that golden light, there is the shadow of a god. That is a god domain." The person's eyes revealed a strange light. Archangel of God, domain 003 Gal. This person was Louis, a special operative from Jinghua City Team 114. Captain Bai Wei quickly reported, "Big brother, we have to quickly find this person. A god domain this powerful cannot be allowed to fall into the hands of others." Louis calmly took a sip of water. "Don't worry," he smiled reassuringly at her. "Someone will go find him." In the hospital waiting hall, a man walked in, lamenting, "Damn it." He stroked his chin thoughtfully. "This guy is indeed a genius, but we can't let others steal him." This person was Su Jingshan, a special operative from Jinghua City, a member of Team 114. And the person he was referring to? On the other side, the sword in Yu Wuming's hand gradually disappeared. He collapsed to the ground wearily in front of his motionless roommate. The person's face had lost all vitality, and blood was splattered on the cold floor. Yu Wuming sadly blamed himself. "I'm sorry, I couldn't save you." But, not letting him grieve for too long, a strange voice rang out again. "You can't even save yourself." Yu Wuming turned his head in fear, not daring to speak, but only thinking in his head, "Who is it?" Behind him was a monster, looking like the ones he had encountered before. It quickly grabbed his neck and lifted him up. Yu Wuming was lifted high, his feet not touching the ground. He said with difficulty, unable to speak clearly, "Let go." He focused his strength, but this time he couldn't transform the sword from before. "No, the sword can't condense." The monster tightened its grip, sighing, "The scent of an angel is so strong. After devouring you, I'll definitely be able to evolve." But immediately after, a hand appeared, gently waving. The monster in front of Yu Wuming was instantly disintegrated. It quickly reshaped itself, and a person stepped forward behind it. Su Jingshan gasped, looking ahead with joy. "Thank goodness. Thank goodness." He pointed at the monster's face, shouting, "Hey, I'm talking to you. Put that person down now." It wasn't panicked at all. From one body, another bizarre head separated out. The head quickly separated into a complete body, lunging towards Su Jingshan. He looked at the monster in surprise. "So it's one that can split." Su Jingshan smiled calmly. Then isn't that too coincidental? In front of him appeared a person identical to himself, but a female version. I'm also someone who can split. The person who just appeared complained irritably. It's so annoying. I was still sleeping to maintain my beauty. Couldn't you call someone else? Su Jingshan quickly pleaded. Big sister, the situation is urgent. Please help. The person reluctantly rushed forward. Fine, I'll help you one more time. Su Jingshan's clone approached the monster holding Yi Wuming. Hey, look over here. In her hand, an object also condensed. The clone slashed with a sword. Idiot. The monster was slashed, leaving only a skull, and Yi Wuming was immediately dropped to the ground. He hugged his neck, coughing heavily. Su Jingshan's clone stood high with a sword in hand, looking down. Kid, look carefully. This is how you kill wraith spirits. Su Jingshan over there had already destroyed a head, destroying the wraith core inside. The clone on this side also similarly chopped off the remaining head. Only in this way can you completely destroy them. The two heads immediately turned into dust. Su Jingshan calmly looked at the stunned Yi Wuming in front of him, and his clone also slowly disappeared. Yi Wuming was confused, not understanding what was going on. Su Jingshan stepped forward and helped him up. This is a barrier. After the wraith spirit dies, the barrier will automatically disappear, and everything around will return to normal. Indeed, the roommate in front of you gradually disappeared. He asked him happily, so, is my friend still alive? Su Jingshan hesitated. Not necessarily. Immediately, a scream rang out in the distance. In front of the two people, a group of doctors and nurses pushed a patient away for emergency treatment. Hurry, is anyone there? Su Jingshan sighed. It seems your friend didn't make it. Yi Wuming was terrified, his face pale. What exactly are those things? Su Jingshan took out a cigarette. Do you know about the great mist that appeared 100 years ago? He had only put it in his mouth when Yi Wuming criticized him. Smoking is prohibited in the hospital. He explained guiltily, I know, but I haven't been able to smoke for a long time. I just want to smell it. Su Jingshan continued to recount. The great mist appeared very suddenly, quickly engulfing the entire world. He pondered. At first, everyone thought it was just a rare weather phenomenon, but soon everyone realized that they were wrong. Su Jingshan recalled the scenes he had seen, or at least had heard. The cities engulfed by the great mist began to disappear, and people were also swallowed by the mist. Looking from above, the earth was covered by a thick fog, except for one place. But for some reason, only Hashia was not corroded in the whole world. A strange barrier was erected, and the impenetrable mist was blocked outside the border, unable to take a single step. Su Jingshan continued the story. When everyone thought they could rest easy, they discovered that life had been born in the mist. In an instant, many people were attacked by monsters. These things were called wraith spirits. They could leave the mist and invade Hashia, and they took humans as food. Humans quickly classified the monsters. Wraith spirits were classified according to their power, from low to high. F, B, A, S, SS, SSS. Low-level wraith spirits had the shape of beasts, and the higher the level, the more they resembled humans. Their intelligence also developed accordingly. Su Jingshan nodded. Of course, there's also the highest level called the Wraith King. The intelligence and appearance of the Wraith King are no different from humans. To find them, you can only rely on a bird called the Harbinger. After a long presentation, he took the cigarette from his mouth. The two people stood on the rooftop. Su Jingshan sighed. But luckily, so far, the existence of a Wraith King has never been discovered. Yi Wuming wondered, so that means my friend died just because those wraith spirits were hungry and wanted to eat people. Su Jingshan turned his head to look at him. No, that wraith spirit came to find you. In other words, you caused your friend to die. You're a spirit vessel, a human chosen by the gods. If wraith spirits eat you, they will evolve. Admit it, you're the one who killed your friend. Yi Wuming couldn't refute him. His face turned pale with each word. He hugged his face, his voice slightly sobbing. It's me. It's me again. A hand was placed on Yi Wuming's shoulder, gently patting him in comfort. Su Jingshan offered an invitation with great chivalry. So, you don't want anyone else to be killed by you, do you? Instead, come with me. He pointed to himself. Let me introduce myself. I am Su Jingshan, a member of Team 114 of Hashia's Special Operatives. Su Jingshan introduced himself proudly. In the Special Operatives, everyone is like you, people who can use Spirit Domain, or like you, people who can use God Domain. So join the special operatives and stay away from ordinary people from now on. What do you think? Yi Wuming lightly slapped his hand away. He looked at Su Jingshan angrily. So you're a swindler. I almost believed you. Su Jingshan wasn't angry at all. Hey buddy, don't say it so harshly. Who's a swindler? Su Jingshan calmly explained. The Special Operatives is an organization established by the state, gathering people like us, people who can use spirit domain, or like you, people who can use God domain. He pulled a card out in front of him. The existence of the Special Operatives is partly to eliminate wraith spirits, and partly because we are too dangerous and need the supervision of the state. Yi Wuming sighed, not caring whether he was telling the truth or lying. Are you done talking? If you're done, you can leave. Su Jingshan stepped forward, shaking him. Aren't you tempted? Don't you want to participate? Don't you really want to think again? Yi Wuming grabbed his hand, answering seriously, no need to think. He turned to leave. I just want to be a normal person. Su Jingshan said frankly, from the moment you were chosen by the gods, you could no longer be a normal person. Yi Wuming's footsteps suddenly stopped. He thought, sadly, I know, but I just want to live like a normal person. Returning to the silent hospital room, the wind gently blew through the window, causing the curtain to flutter slightly. Yi Wuming lay on the bed, contemplating, should I listen to that person? The image of his roommate reaching out for help appeared in his mind. Even though it was a fake image created by the barrier, it still made him sad. Perhaps staying away from normal people is the right thing to do. Suddenly, Yi Wuming opened his eyes. In front of him was no longer his hospital room, but the entrance to the strange hospital from before. He looked around in surprise. Why am I back here again? A voice rang out. My adorable director. A man in a dapper suit appeared, bowing respectfully. It's a pleasure to see you again. Yi Wuming was creeped out by this man. Stay away from me. You're too creepy. Being despised by him stunned the man. He helplessly knelt on the ground. Then, he pulled out a handkerchief, sniffling and lamenting. I knew it. It turns out I misplaced my deep feelings. You winged weirdo. You weren't like this when I met you last time. You better get serious. The man in front of him stood up and replied seriously, My adorable director, I think you've misunderstood. He introduced himself confidently. The last time you met me was my brother, number 1. I am number 2. Yi Wuming looked at number 2 in disbelief. Are you kidding me? You two look exactly the same. He quickly pointed to his head. How can we be the same? I have a proud strand of hair sticking up. It's clearly different. Yi Wuming wondered, Where's your brother then? Number 2 opened the gate, leading him in. My brother's resting. We work in shifts. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are me. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday are him. The director will have to manage on his own on weekends. Yi Wuming was confused. Wait a minute. Why did I come back here? Number 2 replied matter-of-factly. Because this is your hospital. Of course you'll come back. He explained, but more importantly, you just activated your God domain. The hospital has also unlocked the first ward for you. So, it forcibly pulled you in here. Yi Wuming heard this information for the first time. The first ward? Are there patients in this hospital? Number 2 proudly introduced. That's right, and not just one. He walked to the statue of the previous director, which had been replaced by a statue of himself. Yi Wuming rubbed his head. It feels strange. Number 2 was excited. Right. It's so cool. His eyes shone brightly as he looked at him like a place to commemorate the director. Yi Wuming was speechless. You make it sound like I'm dead. Number 2 gestured for him to come. Actually, you left in such a hurry last time that my brother didn't have time to clearly introduce the hospital. He began to lead Yi Wuming around the hospital. This hospital has 8 floors. The first floor includes a main hall, the pharmacy, the cafeteria, and the staff dormitory. The two walked to a room. In addition, there is the director's office. Stepping inside, he was greeted by a desk. This is your office, he said. Yi Wuming looked around in surprise. So many books. He walked to a bookshelf, gently touching it. Number 2, holding a teacup, stopped him. My adorable director, don't waste your energy. You can't touch those books right now. Yi Wuming was confused. Why? Isn't this my office? He calmly took a sip of water. That's right, but you're too weak. These books contain too much powerful knowledge. To protect your life, the hospital has placed a seal on them. Number 2 floated in the air, happily turning to leave. Come on, adorable director, don't look anymore. We should go see the ward. The two walked outside. Number 2 said, I don't know where the key to the basement is. You can go find it yourself later. Yi Wuming was speechless. Do you guys have to be so irresponsible? Number 2 chuckled. Director, You know my brother, and I look unreliable, don't we? He went ahead, muttering, but it's okay. That's a prison. Probably. Maybe no one is there. Behind where the two had just left, black smoke suddenly appeared. Yi Wuming wondered, where's the staircase to the third floor? Number 2 explained, you need to meet certain conditions to unlock the third floor. Before that, the staircase doesn't exist. Yi Wuming was stunned. Is this a seal? In front of the two was a ward. Number 2 happily introduced. That's right, because our patients are all very dangerous. Yi Wuming hesitated, looking at the door. Number 2, do I need to unlock it? But this time, no one answered him. Turning his head, he saw that number 2 had disappeared long ago. He stood far away, waving at him. Director, good luck. Yi Wuming was frightened by that attitude, his face turning green. He cursed inwardly. Son of a... Yi Wuming had no choice but to turn back to the door in front of him. He timidly reached out towards the door. Yi Wuming was surprised. Opening the door and stepping inside, he saw that the room was empty. No one's here. The door behind him suddenly slammed shut, startling Yi Wuming. He hurriedly turned back, trying to open the door with all his might, but the door in front of him didn't budge at all. What's going on? Why can't I open the door? A message appeared in front of him. After creating a patient file, the ward door will automatically open. He gave up, turning back to the empty bed in the room, scratching his head in frustration. There's no one here. How am I supposed to create a file? He peered under the bed. Nothing under the bed, either. Yi Wuming sat up and sighed. There's no one here, is there? But he was immediately silenced by the figure in front of him. A scream immediately echoed in the hallway. Number 2 was leisurely drinking tea at this time. Luckily, I ran fast. Listen to that sound. How tragic. Number 1, holding a book, wondered, is the new patient that scary? Number 2 lowered his head. Who knows? He leisurely took another sip of tea. The director hasn't created a medical record yet. We can't check the patient's information either. Number 1 stroked his chin, thinking, I just want to check. There are a few books on the bookshelf related to this patient. All black. Number 2 was choked by this statement, spitting water straight into number 1's face. He looked at his brother in shock. Is the illness that serious? If I remember correctly, patient books are classified by the color of the illness. Number 1 calmly wiped the water off his face. Yeah, the darker the color, the more severe the illness. But the director will also receive greater benefits. Number 2 dismissed his brother's idea. That's if you can cure them. Remember, the medical records of the previous directors were all light gray, and it still took them several years to cure one person. Number 1's face turned serious. Speaking of which, only when there's a serious problem in this world will a patient have such a severe illness, right? Number 2 wasn't optimistic either. Yeah, the last time a black patient book appeared, it seems like the world was almost destroyed. Then the two looked at each other for a moment. Then they left at the same time, lamenting together, poor director. On the other side, Yi Wuming didn't know that the two stewards had planned to abandon him. He was facing a difficult situation. Yi Wuming spoke stiffly, hello. The patient in front of him was silent, not responding. Yi Wuming introduced himself tremblingly. I'm the director here. You're the patient, right? As soon as he finished speaking, an information panel appeared in front of him. Patient file number 1. Patient, Gaia. Identity, Mother Earth Goddess. Origin, Greek mythology. Medical history, mental disorder. Treatment task, treat patient Gaia. Progress unlock at 1%, 50%, 100% corresponding patient book. Current treatment progress, 0%. Yi Wuming looked at the name in surprise. Gaia, he thought to himself, the Mother Earth Goddess in Greek mythology? Yi Wuming looked at the woman in front of him. She didn't have the appearance of a god at all, the one revered as the mother of the gods. But now she had become a patient. He suddenly realized something. But why would a god like that appear here? A hospital that can consider the creator god as a patient. Yi Wuming became more curious about the founder of the hospital. Just how powerful was the person who built this place? He held his head, shouting inwardly. But why choose a person like me as the director? Do I look like a highly skilled doctor? This is crazy, definitely crazy. The patient in front of him suddenly spoke. Why are they imprisoned? Yi Wuming was lost in thought and didn't hear her. What did you say? Jie looked at him with a painful expression. Why are they imprisoned? She began to stand up, approaching Yi Wuming. Why are they imprisoned? Why are they imprisoned? He scratched his head in confusion. They? Who are they? Jie stepped forward, grabbing Yi Wuming's neck tightly, repeating, why are they imprisoned? He was strangled again, shouting with difficulty, "Let go!" His eyes gradually blurred, his voice getting weaker and weaker. Save! Just when Yi Wuming thought he wasn't going to make it, he suddenly sat up from the bed, coughing violently. He breathed a sigh of relief. "I almost got strangled to death." Yi Wuming picked up his phone. It was still early, but he was no longer in the mood to sleep. "Looks like I won't be sleeping today." He scrolled through his phone for a while. Information about Yi Wuming's first patient appeared. Jie, Mother Earth Goddess in Greek mythology, Mother of the Gods, Grandmother of Zeus, the one who gave birth to the sky god Uranus, the sea god Pontus, and the mountain god Arya. There was a sentence in it. Gaia's children were once imprisoned inside Gaia's body by their father Uranus. Yi Wuming was shocked. "So, the they that Jie mentioned are her children." He smiled happily. "It seems like I know how to treat her at that strange hospital." Inside the director's office, where he was reminded that he didn't have enough authority, a strange hand placed a stack of documents on the table. Abnormal currents of electricity appeared from that hand. The stranger muttered, "For the new director, let me give you a little gift." Yi Wuming happily walked away with his bag, freedom that I haven't had for a long time. Suddenly, a bicycle rushed towards him, the rider intentionally dragging the wheel to create smoke. Yi Wuming immediately coughed uncontrollably. The boy excitedly raised his hand to greet him. "Brother, long time no see." Lin, 13 years old, Yi Wuming's cousin. He immediately patted his head, reminding, "Lin, where did you get this antique? The way you're drifting is like you want to throw the bike and yourself out." He immediately teased, "Brother, you've been lying down for 5 years, but your hands are still so strong." Yi Wuming suddenly remembered and asked, "That's right. Where is she?" Lin replied, My mom told us to go to the cemetery first. She'll come later after she finishes work." He confidently invited, "Let's go. Get on the bike. I'll take you." Yi Wuming looked at him helplessly. "Get on the bike? Get on where?" Lin gently stroked the body of his bicycle. Then he turned to him excitedly and said, "Just sit for a while. It's rush hour now." He excitedly shouted, "Let's go." Yi Wuming sat huddled on the bicycle helplessly. After a while, the two were finally able to reach the cemetery. He looked at the tombstone in front of him for a long time in silence, the graves of his parents. Yi Wuming frowned sadly. He raised his hand to his chest and said, "Dad, Mom, I'm sorry I'm late." Suddenly, someone's voice rang out from behind them. "I want to light an incense stick. Is that okay?" A man with a bouquet of flowers came over. This person was Su Jingshan. Aunt Jan quickly approached him gently. "Of course, you're welcome." He nodded in response. "Thank you." After saying that, Su Jingshan placed the bouquet in front of the grave, but Yi Wuming looked at him with indifference and urged him, "You're done praying. You can leave now." Aunt Jan quickly stopped him, aiming. Su Jingshan didn't mind at all and even turned around to smile happily. "Sister, I want to talk to you alone for a bit." Aunt Jan put her hand on Yi Wuming's shoulder and replied, "You two can talk. I also want to say a few words to my brother and sister." He was surprised. "Aunt," she instructed, "Son, I don't know what's going on between you two, but clarifying things will help you resolve them, right? Go ahead." Then the two walked to a tree far away in front. Lin glanced over. "Some things can't be avoided forever," Yi Wuming said uncomfortably and coldly. "Is there anything else you want to say? I made it clear that day." In contrast, Su Jingshan picked up a cigarette and replied leisurely, "But I didn't make it clear that day." He slowly sat down. Then he looked up at Yi Wuming and asked, "Are you curious about Michael the Archangel who made you like this, or not?" He was quite surprised by that question. Yi Wuming also sat down on the stone next to him. "To be honest, I'm curious." He frowned. "The gods who should only appear in legends. Why are they stepping into the real world?" Su Jingshan recounted. This has to start from 1902. At that time, the Great Mist hadn't descended yet. In terms of dynasties, it was still the Qing dynasty. Right here in Jingoa, 3 people were walking at night. To save time, they chose to take a shortcut through the mountains. Halfway there, it started raining heavily. The 3 people looked for a place to shelter from the rain and entered a nearby cave. Unexpectedly, as soon as they entered, a bolt of golden lightning struck. Then, something also fell to the ground with the lightning, creating a deep pit. Those 3 people were brave, so they went to see what it was. They slowly approached and carefully observed. Just one look stunned them. It turned out that it was a person with 6 pairs of wings, their whole body radiating a brilliant golden light. That was the 3rd god discovered in Hashia, Archangel 003, Michael. Yi Wuming was agitated that early. He nodded in response. That's right, 22 years earlier than the descent of the mist. Su Jingshan winked and revealed. So we are still speculating. Did the gods bring the mist, or did the mist summon the gods? The reason why there is still the hypothesis that the mist summoned the gods is because someone once spoke with a god. That god said that the mist appeared a long time ago, but gradually became uncontrollable. Hearing this was like a bolt from the blue. He couldn't believe it. Uncontrollable, meaning someone controlled the mist before? Su Jingshan sighed again, frowning. Who knows? Those gods always speak ambiguously. As he spoke, he suddenly stood up. According to our research, before the mist appeared, a total of 7 gods had descended, and each of those gods was stronger than any god that appeared after the mist. Then he looked directly at Yi Wuming and asked, do you know what this means? The stronger the god, the more terrifying the abilities of the person who makes a contract with them. Su Jingshan praised incessantly. You, Yi Wuming, your abilities are much stronger than many others. A person like you shouldn't shoulder the mission of protecting humanity? Yi Wuming paid no attention to those words. I don't like being burdened with moral responsibilities. He also stood up and said wearily, now I don't have many relatives left. I just want to be with them. Su Jingshan speculated. Yi Wuming, it's not certain that the wraith spirits will let you be with your relatives. He raised his hand and pointed. Unexpectedly, a girl had been standing there for some time. She even raised her hand to greet them happily. Yi Wuming's face turned pale at the sight. Wraith spirit. Su Jingshan handed him a piece of paper. Then he turned to leave. This has my number. If you think it over, call me. Yi Wuming uncomfortably clenched the paper tightly. His face became thoughtful and a little worried. What should I do? At an apartment building, Yi Wuming held the business card in his hand. He sat for a long time and looked at it intently. Lin, who was beside him, was surprised to see this and asked, Brother, what did that person say to you? Why do you look so dazed? Yi Wuming propped his hand on his chin and asked him aimlessly, Xia, if you had the ability, would you be willing to participate in saving the world? Li Jin's eyes lit up innocently when he heard this. Save the world? Like Superman. He immediately stood up. Lin raised his hand, posing like Superman, and declared heroically, if I really had the ability, I would definitely save the world. After all, this world belongs to us. No one has the right to take it away. This appearance made Yi Wuming laugh out loud. As expected, young people are always full of enthusiasm. You just be enthusiastic. Yi Wuming stood up and patted Li Jin's shoulder. I'm going back to catch up on sleep. Then, he slowly went back to his room. Lin watched him leave, frowning and thinking. Enthusiasm? He looked out the window again and looked up at the sky. Perhaps we simply don't want to see this world destroyed before our eyes. The city was beautiful and peaceful at this moment. Yi Wuming stopped, his expression serious. He turned back and said to someone, this time, there's no need to knock on the door. A middle-aged man, neatly dressed, suddenly appeared. Welcome home, director. Yi Wuming was also surprised and exclaimed, no tuft of hair. Oh, you're number 1. Yes, director. He quickly reported. Director, the patient file for patient number 1 has been placed on the desk in your office. You can view it at any time. Yi Wuming nodded. Okay, I know. You can get to work. I'll call if I need anything. Number 1 received the order and left. Understood, director. Number 1 is always ready to serve you. Yi Wuming couldn't help but praise as he looked at him. Number 1 is still reliable. That useless number 2 only knows how to betray his boss. Unexpectedly, behind him, someone was muttering, Panthea Hospital, June 20th, 10006. It was number 2. He was seriously searching for writing notes. The new director said I was useless and thought my brother was better than me. Number 1 wondered, what are you doing? Number 2 replied coldly, bearing grudges. He vaguely remembered, this notebook, why does it look so familiar? Number 2 replied innocently, of course. I have a dozen boxes of notebooks like this, but they all record the previous directors. And this is a grudge notebook dedicated to the new director. At this time, Yi Wuming had also reached the director's room. He picked up a notebook and examined it. When he opened it, he was a little surprised. Why is there a key in here? Yi Wuming carefully looked through it. Patient record for patient number 1. In that file was patient Gaia's status. Mother Earth Goddess. Origin. Greek mythology. Medical history. Mental disorder record updated. Extreme pain due to her son being sealed inside her body. Oh, there's also an update section. So that means what I find in real life will also be displayed in the medical record. After reading it made him exclaim, "It's amazing." Yi Wuming tossed the key high into the air. Then he caught the key again and muttered, "If the information I found is true, then this disease can be cured." Unexpectedly, after he left, the book suddenly lit up. It displayed the message that, "Please note, during the treatment process, in addition to the methods and the director's imperial flame tome, other treatments are ineffective." Seeing Yi Wuming leave the room, Number 1 called out, "Director!" He stopped. "What's the matter?" Number 1 even presented a tray of pastries. "Director, it's afternoon tea time." He asked earnestly, "Director, would you like to have some?" Yi Wuming broke out in a cold sweat and quickly waved his hand in refusal. "Thank goodness, I almost got slapped to death by the pastries." No need." He made an excuse to leave. "I'm going to see Gaia first." Yi Wuming handed the key back to Number 1. He picked up the key and looked at it. "Isn't this the key to the basement?" He turned around, surprised. "Basement? Is it this basement?" Number 1 explained slowly. "Yes, it's just that this key has been lost for a long time." "Director, where did you find it?" Yi Wuming replied in confusion. "It was placed right on the medical record." "Didn't you guys find it?" He shook his head. "Not us." He frowned curiously. "It must have been left by someone else in the hospital." After saying that, Yi Wuming waved his hand and left. "Okay, I'll go down to the basement and take a look. As for your afternoon tea, you can take care of it yourself." But before he could take half a step, the tray of pastries blocked his way again. Number 1 rushed forward, reminding, "Director, I suggest you treat the patient first. You can go to the basement after the treatment progress reaches 1%. He frowned suspiciously. "Why? Is there something down there?" He had no choice but to turn away evasively. "Maybe there is." Yi Wuming turned his back inside. So many rules. A foot landed softly on the ground. Number 2 hurriedly asked, "Brother, is she back?" Number 1 was slightly worried. "Hopefully not," he thought to himself. "Otherwise, the new director will be in trouble." After a while, he arrived in front of the door to patient Number 1's room. He stood outside, telling himself, "Don't be afraid. She can't strangle you to death. At most, you just play a new game." He grabbed the door and slowly opened it. Inside the room, a woman was sitting on a hospital bed. Yi Wuming approached and said, "This situation is like loading a save in a game." He carelessly raised his hand. "The thing is, do you remember me?" Her eyes widened, her white pupils glowing. She raised her arms, intending to reach for him, but with quick reflexes, he ducked. Yi Wuming suddenly faked his voice. "Mom, I miss you so much." It actually worked. Her eyes returned to normal, looking around blankly. He even used some small tricks, adding tears to fully play the role. Yi Wuming put on a touching performance. "Mom, have you forgotten? I'm your son." For being surprised, she gradually clenched her teeth. Her stammering words came out. "Son of mine?" He sat down, coaxing, "Yes, that's right." But she tilted her head, thinking, "But I remember my son is one-eyed." Hearing that made him jump in fright. Yi Wuming panicked. "Crap, I forgot that those in prison were one-eyed giants and hundred-handed giants." He tried to justify. "Oh well, I've grown more eyes lately." She wondered, "Can eyes grow back? But why have you become shorter?" Yi Wuming was at a loss for words. How should I explain this? Am I supposed to say it's because modern technology has developed?" His face turned pale. "Whatever. At worst, I'll just die and load the save file." Now Yi Wuming had to come up with a reason. "Oh well, because medicine is so advanced these days, I wanted to integrate into human life, so I had plastic surgery." After hearing that, the space became silent. She raised her hand high. He closed his eyes tightly in fear, accepting his fate. "It's over. I'm about to get punched again." Instead, she gently hugged him tightly. Thinking that Yi Wuming was her son, she felt extremely sorry for him. "Oh, my poor child." The system immediately appeared. Patient GA treatment progress reached 3%. The corresponding patient book has been unlocked. He was delighted. "I'm really a genius." So, Yi Wuming was able to safely handle patient Number 1. Number 2, in a room on the side, said, "The director is so pitiful, having to acknowledge a mother and having to admit to having plastic surgery, all for nothing." Number 1 reproached, "It's all your fault. Why didn't you remind the director?" He squinted his eyes and argued, "Today's shift is yours. It's because you didn't explain clearly, causing the director to use the wrong treatment method." Number 1 immediately avoided the blame and blamed it on the director. Actually, the main responsibility lies with the director. He didn't read the words in the medical record carefully. Taking advantage of the situation, number 2 chimed in, "You're right. A little later when we meet the director, let's put all the blame on him." Suddenly, Ewing opened the window and spotted someone. Su Jingshan was peeking behind the door. While the two brothers were discussing shifting responsibility, Yi Wuming was already behind them and asked, "What's the matter?" Number 2 quickly tried to sell out his brother. "That's right. My brother wants to put the blame on you." He vaguely said the sentence and then jumped away, leaving Yi Wuming confused. He anxiously thought to himself, "It feels like he's caused some trouble again." Then Yi Wuming went to the bookshelf and took out a book. He raised it up. "All right, let's see what's in this book." After reading a bit, Yi Wuming frowned. Inside the book was completely blank. There was nothing at all. Number 1 spoke, "I'm sorry, director." He then explained, "Because we didn't have time to remind you. The hospital has determined that this treatment was ineffective. Apart from the treatment methods in the director's professional book, all other methods are ineffective." Yi Wuming complained uncomfortably. "Are you kidding me? Who gets sick according to the standards in the book? Do I have to treat illnesses according to the book?" He tried to flip through the entire book, saying angrily, "Why not just give the book to the patients to read? Maybe they'll heal themselves." After searching for a long time without results, he collapsed into a chair. He despondently thought, "So what do I do now? Where is that Imperial Flame Tome?" Number 1 explained, "It's inside you. After signing the contract to become the director, the hospital gave it to you." He turned around, surprised. "Then how do I use it?" He just shook his head. "I'm sorry, director. This is your privacy. We don't know either." As if falling into despair again, he sighed. "I knew it. This hospital is really a bottomless pit." Yi Wuming couldn't rest. He stayed up all night until the next day. Until now, Yi Wuming's mouth was still muttering, "Imperial Flame Tome." He sat up abruptly, uncomfortably. "What Imperial Flame Tome? I can't even use this god domain these days." Yi Wuming turned to look beside him. "What the hell is this?" He suddenly turned to stone, stiff. "Damn it!" Yi Wuming screamed. "What the hell is this?" "Uncle, I'm on the 22nd floor." Su Jingshan shook his neck, complaining, "I'm so tired." Yi Wuming helplessly advised, "You're old and weak." "Are you crazy?" Su Jingshan still teased with a smile. "Why sneak around? Is it a secret?" Hearing that made him jump in fright. He screamed in fear, "What are you going to do, you perverted old man? I'm a decent person, okay?" Su Jingshan took out a cigarette, lit it, and replied seriously, "Don't worry. Even if I'm not decent, I wouldn't be interested in a weak chicken like you." Then he casually threw an envelope into Yi Wuming's hand. He held the stack of money in his hand, confused. "What do you mean?" Su Jingshan explained, "The organization gives it to you." Yi Wuming handed it back and refused. "I don't need it. I don't plan to join the special operatives." His face turned serious. "I know, but this is compensation money for the death of your parents." At this point, Yi Wuming's face turned pale. He clenched the stack of money in his hand, growling, "What do you mean by that? Wasn't my parents' death an accident?" Su Jingshan still replied calmly, "It's true that it wasn't." He revealed, "The captain received a stack of documents from the superiors this morning saying that your parents' death may be related to File C." Yi Wuming was shocked. "What is File C?" Su Jingshan then explained, That's one of the highly secret cases of the special operatives. The special operatives has 3 types of secret cases: File A, File B, and File C. Among them, File A is related to unsolved cases in the country, such as the red-eyed wraith spirit murder case a few years ago. File B is related to events outside the mist, but with my rank, I can't know the details. As for File C, it's more special. It mainly relates to events related to gods, he said casually. For example, the Michael Pitt case in 1902, which belongs to File C, but it was only declassified after your god domain appeared. At this point, Yi Wuming began to get impatient. "How do I find out about my parents' case?" Su Jingshan stood up and approached him. "Normally, File C is only declassified when the related god reappears. Of course, there's another way." He slapped Yi Wuming's shoulder hard. Then he looked with anticipation. "In the special operatives, as long as you reach a certain level, you can view all 3 types of files." He had no interest, so he immediately brushed Su Jingshan's hand off. "After talking for so long, in the end, you still want me to join the special operatives, don't you?" But he still stubbornly denied it. "Not at all. I just came to give you the money. I told you, just let you think about it yourself. This is not the era of forcing things." Elsewhere at the same time, Bai Wei pondered to herself. "I said, If you want to know if a watermelon is sweet, you have to taste it first. She happily held up a piece of watermelon to show Lu Bu. Look, isn't it sweet? Bai Wei chatted as you say, Captain, Uncle Jing has been persuading him for almost half a month, but this kid is still resisting. He replied, actually, sometimes I also think, is it right or wrong to let him join the special operatives? Bai Wei spat out seeds confidently, saying, how can joining the special operatives be wrong? Someone who came over also contributed. Stop thinking so much. Everything is fate. She called out loudly. Vice Captain Xiao Nanxing, Vice Captain of Squad 144. Luba nodded and smiled at him. Xiaonan quickly nodded in response. Bai Wei fell out of place, listening to the two murmuring in a strange language. Captains, can you consider the feelings of the listeners? We don't understand what you're talking about at all, but they just turned around cold. Secret, don't ask, she retorted. Secrets are meant to be shared. Suddenly, one of Luis' eyes seemed to sense something. Seeing Luis clutching his face and groaning, Wei was worried. What's wrong? Unexpectedly, Luis had clairvoyance. A large number of wraith spirits have appeared around Yi Wuming's house. We have to get there right away. One of Su Jingshan's feet stepped on the windowsill. He turned his head to smile and say goodbye. All right, I've delivered the money. I'll leave first. Yi Wuming complain verity. Hey, don't jump out the window. Go through the front door. Su Jingshan scratched his head sheepishly. It's a habit, he grumbled. Don't get into that habit. Suddenly, Su Jingshan sensed something. The two looked out the window together. Yi Wuming was surprised. What is it, he frowned. Wraith spirits. Outside the apartment building, black shadows surrounded it tightly. A lot of wraith spirits. Without hesitation, Su Jingshan rushed past Lin, who was still engrossed and playing on his phone. Lin looked after him in shock, and Yi Wuming shouted, Lin, stay in the house. Absolutely don't come out. Lin stuttered in horror. Brother Yidi is hiding an old man in the house. Being misunderstood for no reason, Yi Wuming stammered, No, it's not what you think. Unexpectedly, Lin smiled meaningfully, teasing. I understand everything. Yi Wuming shouted angrily. You understand what you understand? Without hesitation, Yi Wuming turned and left. You wouldn't understand even if I told you. In short, don't come out. After he left, Lin sighed. He revealed a cold, disdainful expression. A bunch of trash. Yi Wuming had already run down to the first floor. He couldn't help but sigh. Damn it, so many. Su Jingshan blocked him with a sword. What are you doing here, kid? This isn't something you can participate in. Yi Wuming didn't mind unleashing his abilities. I don't want to either. A golden sword was created by Yi Wuming. He looked at it and implied, but it wants to. Su Jingshan had to agree. All right then, let's go together. Unexpectedly, Su Jingshan strongly slashed his sword into his hand until it bled. What are you doing? The sword turned bright red. Su Jingshan pointed the tip of the sword at the ground. A red barrier appeared. It became bigger and bigger, covering the entire city. He exhaled a puff of white smoke and explained, This is a seal, a skill that every special operative knows. Then he turned to smile and promise. The seal can protect ordinary people from being affected. You'll learn it later. Yi Wuming replied decisively. I'm not joining. Su Jingshan didn't try to persuade him further. It's up to you, a woman said as she flew towards him. Yi Wuming was puzzled. I haven't even asked. Why is your spirit domain a person? He jumped and rushed away. Su Jingshan hurriedly said, After we deal with this garbage, I'll tell you slowly. Yi Wuming nodded. Okay. He carefully looked at his sword. It usually doesn't appear, no matter how I call it. Today, it's willing to show its face. Yi Wuming brought the blade forward. Although I don't want to join the so-called special operatives. As he said this, he jumped and quickly rushed towards the wraith spirits. But these wraith spirits were damned. Their terrifying appearances were revealed. On Su Jingshan's side, he kept slashing straight. I'll kill all of you. Yi Wuming was also not to be outdone when he rushed to deal with them decisively. He jumped high and grabbed his sword. The two sides wrestled fiercely. Too many. I can't kill them all. This wraith spirit actually grabbed the sword and knocked it out of Yi Wuming's hand. It took advantage of the situation and rushed straight towards him. Before it could open its mouth to attack, it was immediately slashed by Su Jingshan. He cursed, Damn it, I'm still here. Su Jingshan strongly thrust his sword, bisecting its body. After the strike, he sighed wearily. It's a pity I don't have a spirit domain. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to chop them one by one. Yi Wuming wondered, No spirit domain? Su Jingshan only smiled meaningfully. I'll tell you after we're done. Huh. He grabbed Yi Wuming's sword and threw it back. Catch. He held it tightly with one hand and stepped forward. Yi Wuming's eyes suddenly lit up. The speed of movement was surprisingly fast, and with just a few slashes, countless were killed. The wraith spirits surrounded the three of them tightly. Yi Wuming punted. Are these wraith spirits weeds? They keep growing back after being chopped. Su Jingshan frowned and shouted, "Damn it, something's not right." They were screaming strangely. The wraith spirits turned back and looked at their companion. He was surprised by the approaching one, a human. This one had a different shape compared to the others. No, it's a wraith spirit. So it was a humanoid wraith spirit of S rank or higher. Yi Wuming worriedly asked, "Don't you have reinforcements?" "We're no match for it." He still calmly lit a cigarette. Then he confidently told him, "Of course we do." However, Su Jingshan was also worried. But they haven't arrived after so long. Maybe they've encountered something too. The protection barrier he created earlier. A car sped quickly down the road. Bai Wei was surprised. Why are so many wraith spirits gathering? The girl in the back seat was excited. Is this Yi Wuming the reincarnation of Tangon Zong or something? Why are they clinging to him so tightly? Zhang Ning Ning, member of Squad 144. Then Zhang Ning laughed and joked. "Tell me, if I bite a piece of his flesh, can I be immortal?" That's all for today. For the next part, make sure to subscribe my channel Fire Recap. And you don't forget to share and like the video. I am out.